Q, we've got some fun articles. What have you got prepared for us? This is where we get to do a little bit of a hot take. What do you got, Q?
So today our article is titled Emotion AI Could Be the Next Trend for Business Software, and That Could Be Problematic. Today's article basically discusses the growing trend of emotion AI, and it's a technology designed to improve AI's ability to understand human emotions through various inputs like visual and audio sensors. The goal is to make AI interactions more human-like, particularly in customer service and other business applications. However, there are clearly concerns about its accuracy and potential regulatory challenges. What do you guys think?
Well, shit.
Emotion AI. This is a interesting sort of thing. Gwen, you got any hot takes on this? Because I'm still processing all the advances in AI right now.
I mean, AI is going to continue to advance. It's cool. It's super cool. And wow. I'm just kind of blown away by this right now. I'm not surprised that this is happening. Let me share a story that relates kind of to this. So one of my colleagues a few years ago took a phone call, and the guy who she was talking to didn't believe it was her, didn't believe it was a real human because he thought it was AI. And this call went on for almost 45 minutes, I think. And she said, I don't know what to tell you. I live in Pittsburgh. I forget where he was from. I live in Pittsburgh. I'm a Steelers fan. I have 2 children. And she didn't know how to get him to believe that she was a human. He thought she was a robot, and she was giving real emotion. And he was like, I don't believe you. I think you're a robot. So it goes into the emotional AI aspect of it. How are we going to decipher who's human and who's robot if this is already starting to happen? People don't believe it. So I don't know. I mean, we already have chatbots and we can kind of tell, but and I'm always constantly saying we need to be authentic. So this means even more we need to really know who we are and talk about who we are so people know that we're talking to a real person, because AI is just going to get better and better. So I don't know how I feel about this, quite frankly.
Let's explore this from 2 facets. And this is where I agree with you. Things are getting scary. One, deep faking is a massive problem right now. Like, they're passing laws. I saw a story out of Korea, like these K-pop girls are more deep fake than anybody else. And it has a lot to do with the cultural nuances of what's going on over there, being Korean myself and a sort of K-pop fan. But so you got deep faking, there's an issue. And then next, it doesn't take much to kind of draw people into the AI world. And you see this proliferation of the AI girlfriends, and you see like young men saying, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a physical biological member. Like, just, I'm not going to be in a relationship because I've got an anime girlfriend, virtual girlfriend. Now, if you start adding emotions to that little girl avatar, that to me is scary, first of all, okay? But here's where the article was really interesting for me. It talked about, how does a chatbot know the difference between what are you talking about, I'm angry, and what are you talking about, I'm confused? And they're the 2 same sentences, and I think that's a very interesting problem that AI is trying to solve. And I'm going to say I'll see it when I believe it, because literally when you're texting, you'd have to take in so much voice inflection, all the previous conversation. Can you get that through the typing, or maybe there's more prompts? I'm not too sure. Q, you did some research on this. What's the prevailing thought? What are people saying, or generally, what do you think about this story?
I think generally the consensus among people and including the person who wrote the article is they're generally pretty leery. What does this mean for the future if something like this is implemented, right? And then also, just to your point, Ed, the difference between different emotions. You can say one statement, but you could mean it in 2 different ways. You could be either confused or angry with one particular statement. So that was actually an example presented. I also did some additional research, and just being that emotion AI was implemented for specific business needs and customer service needs, my question was, how satisfied are people with customer service? Now, in the UK, according to research from Cavil, almost half of consumers, 44%, believe that customer service has gotten worse over the past 3 years. And that was April 19th, 2024. And then there was a North American study, and the difference was pretty significant. And it was about 77% of people are happy with their experiences with customer service. So a bit of a cultural difference there. But I think going forward, I myself have my reservations about this, but I also think, unpopular opinion, this could be beneficial for us. And the reason I think that is because with the use of social media, the increase in technology, we're a pretty lonely society. People are more lonely than ever on an emotional, social basis. And this could be a solution for that, not without a cost.
Q, Jen, Gwen, I got a question for you. Have you ever, you don't have to give me gory details, have you ever talked to an AI like a person because you're either lonely, you wanted personal advice, there wasn't somebody around? How many times have you done that?
I've only done it with sounding board when I write.
Okay, so you haven't gone into that personal companionship.
No.
Q, what about you?
I mean, I think my answer gave it away a little bit. But definitely, I think sometimes in this day and age, and for different people, depending on who you are and how you operate, I think the difficulty can be knowing who to trust and with what information, right? And especially with personal details or relationship details or just wanting guidance, so to speak. So I think with AI, the benefit to asking AI personal questions or emotional based advice is you can also prompt it to give you therapy advice or psychologically informed advice and actually get advice that you're looking for versus, if you're talking to a friend, sometimes they don't always say the right thing or something that's going to be helpful. So I definitely have used AI for those purposes and I found it quite helpful.
Jen, spill the tea.
I would have to say I'm more on the side with Gwen. I haven't used it personally in that sense. But with that being said, to kind of go down the road where Q is saying that if you have a situation, bumping things off of it as a sounding board of, okay, this is what's happening, give me some options here. But I wouldn't say I'd go for it for anything more than just a sounding board if I'm not getting a quick response from family or friends.
I'm going to leave you the last word, but I'm going to spark or plant a seed for everybody watching out there. It's only a matter of time before you can use AI to allow content to be customized. So if someone's reading it in a certain demographic, that article, that piece of content will literally change to fit that person.
Mhm.
I think that's a massive use case they're figuring out right now. But time will tell. That's another topic for another discussion.